got a white boy on my roster. He be feeding me pasta and lobster. He hit me up on Tuesday and he said, what are you doing, babe? I want to take you shopping. I said, damn, I'm busy. He said, damn, but I'm in your city. He said, that's okay. I hope you have a good day. I'm going to send you $8.50. And I said, you treat me so well. He said, Cash App or Zelle. Matter of fact, I'll send you a stack because they're fine as hell. What's with the neighbors? 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 Get your butt out of my face is probably what I said. You're disgusting. You have a turd on your butt. It's like the tiniest.
How to wipe your? It's a little dingleberry.
Yeah,
he's got a little.
You got a dingleberry on your butt. You disgusting
dingleberry.
Nasty.
You nasty.
You nasty.
What's up, guys? This is our podcast. I feel like it's echoey right now. It's gonna be. Duh.
It's not echoey.
We were in it.
Just talk straight into your mic.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Oh no, what's wrong?
It's from Anchorman.
Oh.
I was just saying because the echoing.
Oh, poor Bree. R.I.P. Bree.
RIP. Yeah, this is our show. What's with the
neighbors?
Almost not neighbors anymore.
Shut up.
Amy's leaving me.
Cruel and unusual pain.
Also, if you don't know what's going on, go listen to the last episode.
Is it the last episode before last?
I don't know. Amy's moving. There's no updates.
Bree's like, hey, let's think about how we can torture Amy more. Let's talk about her moving as much as possible.
Let's bring on the torture.
Constantly.
Let's bring on the guilt.
I have 2 things to tell you, actually.
Okay. Bring them on.
These, I wrote them down because I was like, I'm going to forget. And this one happened a couple weeks ago. Remember when I was like, I have something to tell you, and then I kept forgetting?
You finally remembered, and you're like, I need to write this down.
Well, someone reminded me at work. They're
okay.
Like, and this is, she announced it to the entire room. By the way, this is Kirsty at work. So she's like announcing this to the entire office, like area that we're in. Did
you have diarrhea?
No. But she was like, you guys remember when Amy used her Kool-Aid Man voice and Dominic came running down the hall because he thought a man was in the office, like attacking us?
I thought you were going to say that Dominic came down the hall because he was playing the Kool-Aid Man.
No.
He's going to smash through a wall. Oh, yeah. Is that what you did? You said, oh, yeah?
Similar. I forgot what she gave. She gave me something, and I was so excited about it. I was like, or something like that.
It just comes out sometimes. You say that, and I was at gymnastics yesterday, Wednesday, and they've got like this plexiglass there,
right?
And so I have to watch Natalie while Charlotte's doing her 2 hours worth of gymnastics, right, which is super fun with a 3-year-old, by the way.
Yeah.
So Natalie's watching her, and I'm watching Charlotte too. Finally get to actually, pay attention for once. And I look over, and Natalie's like, licking the glass, like in a circle and everything, like all into it. And I'm like, immediately, instinctively, I'm like, no, get off of it. One of the moms like jerks her head at me. That's like this disgusted, like, what the just came out of you? Sorry, Candy. I was like, sorry, the demon in me comes out. And she like nodded. She was like, oh yeah, I get that. And then she started laughing. Every mom has a little demon in them.
We all do. I was just so excited. I forgot what she gave me. It was something that I've been wanting for work. It's something super easy too, though. Yeah, so so what happened was she gave me something and I was like, oh yeah. And Dominic, one of our attorneys, like came running down because he was like, what was that? Like, he was like asking, and I was like, that was Kirsty. and Kirsty looked at him and she's like, do you really think that came out of my voice or out of my mouth? She was like, that was definitely Amy.
Oh yeah. Oh, no. Who do I need to get? Who's in here?
I just like stand up and start Kool-Aiding him, like, like attacking,
jumping through walls. Oh no!
Oh no!
That's
so
awesome.
the other thing that I
would like to be, I would be proud to be known for that.
Thank you.
You should be.
I own it.
Thank you, Kirsty.
Thank you, Kirsty. Another thing is apparently I'm banned from Twitter.
What?
Yeah.
For what?
I don't know. So I went onto Twitter a couple of nights ago.
You were just bragging about your Twitter too.
I know what.
You said you're so funny.
I know, I'm hilarious. It's actually Alice's quote, so it would be Alice that's funny. But so I went onto Twitter. I forgot why. I think I wanted to look at neighborhood stories or look for neighborhood stories. But I went on Twitter and like I logged in and they're like, your account has been suspended. And I was like, for what? And they won't tell me why. I can't post anything. I can't view anything. And so I appealed it and they're like, but why? What, like, why do you think we should give your Twitter back? And I was like, because I don't know. I didn't do anything. It says I violated their policy. What? I haven't posted since November of last year.
Is that why?
What I posted was a Lizzo song. Like, I was like, thank you, Lizzo, for helping me get through my, like, cleaning or something like that. I don't know.
Twitter. Come on now. Wait,
what's Elon Musk?
Yeah, come on, Musk.
Can you elaborate on why?
This is the second episode that we've brought you up.
I am literally... So basically, you're
Get your
famous
shit
now.
Together, dude.
Yeah. He's famous now because he's been mentioned on our podcast. We'll even at you. Like, we'll hashtag you.
Yeah.
You know, give you a shout out.
I will personally.
Yeah.
Then our account's going to get banned at Elon Musk. Why did you ban at Amy Westmoreland? Whatever you are.
What did I do?
All right, Elon Musk, if this gets out there, fix your stuff. And also, I got banned on Facebook that one time in our group, which was super inconvenient because I had to make like 2 different extra profiles to get back into it. But like, come on, Facebook. All I did was post a meme that was already on Facebook. It was about Jeffrey Dahmer, I think.
I feel like Facebook is like the worst.
I think it's just like robots that see it and they're like, oh,
like an algorithm, like a system that they have like coding or something.
Yeah, because like I don't see someone if someone in our group flagged that,
I don't think anyone.
You need to get out of our group because it is a group about true crime and paranormal, and I don't think there's shit in there. So yeah, I don't think so either. I think it was Facebook's algorithm or something like you said. But yeah, sorry for that pause there. Anyway,
thank you for trying. Do you have I have a question
sorry
for you.
about that.
It's okay.
They did you dirty, man.
Yeah, I kind of feel cool though. I've never been
badass.
Banned. Yeah, I've never been banned from anything, and I think it's even cooler that I don't know why. Like they're like, "Whoa, ma'am, you are too cool."
I would
for
like
this Twitter.
to know why
this platform is not cool enough for you. Okay, so I have a question for you.
Okay,
what is your biggest irrational fear?
Irrational, like ridiculous, like nothing that you can control.
It's not like rational, like. A fear of heights is kind of rational. It is
No,
irrational.
yeah. I don't know. What's yours?
Don't make fun of me.
Give me an example.
Okay. My biggest irrational fear that I've had for years, ever since it happened when I was like in high school, is being a victim of a drive-by shooting.
Okay. That's not irrational. I mean, the chances of it happening are very like slim, but like I get it. I feel like I have a lot of them.
Like
to be
literally,
honest.
anytime any car, like I'm out on the road and a car passes me, I think they're going to shoot me.
Sticks. Carrying sticks. I don't know that.
Interesting.
Because I got stabbed in the eye with one once.
Oh.
And I had to wear an eye patch for like almost a week.
That makes sense. My mom's scared of dragonflies. Because a dragonfly flew into her eye and she had
Ow. I'm afraid to go. I'm afraid to sleep in the nude because I'm afraid that if someone breaks into my house.
I think that's a lot of fear for everyone.
But like, I don't want to because like what if someone or also like my children
Your
like
children,
need me.
yeah.
Natalie wakes up with like sleep dreaming her crap or whatever several like at least like 3 to 4 times a week.
And the last thing you want to do when you're super groggy and don't want to wake up but you have to wake up for your kid is put on clothes.
Yeah, exactly. Or like if I like run into something and it like runs into the wrong area and it's like not like padded or like covered and like
Brie,
that
I
would
feel
hurt.
like you really need to get a layout of your house if that's an issue.
I don't want to run into this cactus that I have randomly
just
like
the ghost put it out in the middle of the night. You actually have a night cactus.
I have a cactus that is exact height of where my hoo-ha is. So, like, if I'm naked, that shit's gonna hurt. This episode is going
way off bonkers.
Way south, literally.
I want to reiterate that all fears are rational.
Yes.
Except for my drive-by shooting one.
That's rational, though. Like, it's okay. Like, and then also, like, with that person driving through your driveway.
True. No, this has been a thing for years.
You said years since, like, high school. But, yeah, like, I would see that would be freaky. That's why I checked in on you all week, because that made me nervous for you.
Yeah, and I was alone.
Yeah. Oh, also, log trucks.
Yeah.
Final Destination. Everyone in the world is afraid of log trucks. Yeah. And tanning beds now.
I'm not scared of tanning beds.
I
got over that fear by tanning.
I'm over the fear, but at the same time, like I promise you, I think about it every single time I would go into a tanning bed. Yeah. Anyway, just mention everything from Final Destination.
Okay.
Sorry.
Tell me your neighborhood story.
Wow. This episode's going to be long already.
We're probably going to cut some of that out. We're going to Patreon.
Yeah, dear God, cut a lot of it.
You guys, if you want to hear what we just talked about, go head over to our Patreon.
To YouTube.
Or to YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was great. It was a great conversation.
We got down a long rabbit hole.
We did.
Very deep one.
Very wonderful conversation.
Okay, so this popped up today on USA Today, and I thought it was super cool.
Love
and
it.
Was, we'll find out later. So it's titled Las Vegas Police Investigate Aliens in Backyard Report After Officer Spots Flying Object.
No.
Las Vegas Police officers investigated reports of two unknown entities falling from the sky on the same night in late April that a family reported something not human in their backyard. One officer drove to a home on the night of April 30th and interviewed the family, who called 911 after making the sighting. According to the body camera footage obtained by USA Today, one of the family members told the officer they saw a big creature that was long and 10 feet tall. The officer told the family he was looking into claims because another officer saw something in the sky that matched the family's description 8 minutes earlier.
No.
And there's more to it, but that's all I'm going to say because it's a neighborhood story. It's meant to be short, but there's more. I've already seen another article about it, like within the last 10 minutes. So, I saw it today and I thought it was really cool.
I really, really like that.
UFO or aliens are real, guys.
Aliens are real.
Or maybe it wasn't an alien. Maybe it was something else. I don't know.
Or Skinwalker.
Or Skinwalker. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, go ahead.
I am curious to see how that turns out. Also, as a police officer, how do you write up a report about that?
Yeah.
But the dispatcher getting that call, I think about the dispatcher, I'm sorry, excuse me? You saw a what? You think it's a what?
I'm sure in that area, it's nothing super unusual, though.
That's true.
Because one, it's Las Vegas where everybody's drunk all the time, probably. And two, it's Las Vegas where, it's like a hot spot for alien sightings.
I can't. Sir, this is 911. This is not, you cannot prank us.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. I'll send someone out to make sure you are sane.
Okay. So I am going to tell you a story about Amelia Dyer.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
Well, you're about to find out.
But I'm so excited to find out about her.
Wonderful. So Amelia Elizabeth Hobley was born in 1837, but the exact date is still unknown.
Okay. We don't know someone's birthday? Sorry.
I mean, it was 1837.
Oh, okay.
So she was born in a small village just east of Bristol called Pile Marsh in England.
Ooh.
So we're over the river.
Across the pond.
Oh, pond.
Over the river and through the woods. No, that's the grandma's house.
Whoops. We took a wrong turn here. Her parents were Samuel Hobley and Sarah Weymouth. Samuel was born 1797 and Sarah was born 1806. And they got married on August 20th, 1922. So we know the date of their marriage, but not her date of birth. He was 25 at the time and she was 16 at the time. So we're starting off great.
All right. Wow. That's not anything super abnormal though.
No, for that time, absolutely not. They had 5 children in total, 2 girls and 3 boys. Amelia was the youngest of the 5. Samuel was a master shoemaker and was well known for his advanced skill even outside of their local area. So he was like known. For those times, Samuel, Sarah, and the children would have been considered pretty privileged. In 1841, when Amelia was just 4 years old, her 6-year-old sister, Sarah Ann, died. And I can't tell you the reason why she died.
You said she was 16 or 6.
When Amelia was 6, Amelia was 4 years old. Her sister was 6.
Oh, okay.
And her sister died.
Oh, so young.
Yeah. Then in 1845, when Amelia was 8 years old, her mother gave birth to another little girl, and they named her Sarah Ann after the oldest daughter.
Isn't that the name of the bread?
Sarah Lee.
Sarah Lee.
Yeah.
Damn.
Close. But the baby died when it was just a few months old. And again, I don't know the reason why. Probably because it was just,
that time.
Yeah. Amelia was a very intelligent child. She learned to read and write quickly, and she loved poetry and literature, as most children do. The Hobley children went to good schools, and they had a pretty good life, but that would not last long. Sarah, the mother, contracted typhus, which is a disease caused by infection with one or more specific bacteria. Fleas, mites, body lice, or ticks can carry it, and which terrifies me. And they pass it to the host through a bite, and the bite naturally starts to itch. And when it itches, it creates a break in the skin and allows the bacteria to get deeper into the skin and even closer to the bloodstream. So fun stuff. Kind of like Lyme disease, I would guess. The symptoms of typhus are severe headache, chills, and spreading of a rash, very high fever, confusion, low blood pressure, severe muscle pain, light sensitivity in the eyes, along with the person to being seemingly out of touch of reality.
Okay. I feel like this is one of those commercials.
Yeah. Sorry. If you were exploding on saying, and do not do that. So Sarah suffered terribly with this and would go into these violent rages from when the infection was getting worse. The children unfortunately suffered the consequences of some of her fits because the dad was working. But Amelia knew what she had to do, and she was caring for her mom, who ended up dying as a raving lunatic in 1848 when Amelia was just 11 years old.
Raving lunatic, but she still made bread.
Yeah. No, wrong person, Brie. Wrong person.
Just want to believe it's Sarah Lee.
Wouldn't that be great? So she was a raving lunatic, but she made great bread.
Damn, her bread was good. Her buns were nice.
So after her mother's death, she began to show signs of depression. And so what does a father got to do with his depressed daughter?
Oh, no.
Send her off to the aunt's house.
Oh, of course.
Can't be dealing with this.
Don't deal with her.
No. But, I mean, I think he might have had good intentions.
Yeah.
So he did it because she would have a female
presence.
Presence in her life. And he felt that she needed that more than her 3 brothers and her dad. But her aunt was good to her, and Amelia slowly began to feel better. During that time, nearly all women wore corsets. And interested in the trade, Amelia began an internship with a corset maker, learning how to make them with the idea that this could be her career.
Okay.
That's kind of cool. She spent her teen years...
So we have her to thank.
Yeah. Thanks, Amelia. So she spent her teen years with her aunt, and life seemed to be well for her. In 1859, her dad died, and her oldest brother took over the shoemaking business. And after the death of her father, she began to have disagreements with her brothers. Though no source specifically states what it's about, it's believed that it was about the business because it was handed to the brothers, and she was kind of just left in the dirt. So she ended up being forever estranged from all three of them. At the age of 24, Amelia moved into a lodging house in Bristol. And while there, she met a man named George Thomas. He was 59 years old.
All these first namers.
I know, right? He was 59 years old and making him 35 years older than Amelia.
Oh my gosh.
Their courtship was short and they soon got married. George helped her get into nursing school, though.
Okay.
Where she just obviously studied to become a nurse. And through being a nurse, Amelia met a woman who worked as a midwife by the name of Ellen Jane, another first name. Ellen told her of a much easier way to earn a good wage. Oh, by the way, Brie, sorry, I meant to say this in the beginning. I got this story from my calendar, my daily calendar.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, back to the story.
I'm so glad the calendar is so handy.
I love it. Everyone loves it in my office. Ellen told her of a much easier way to earn a good wage. There was a lot of what they called illegitimate birth back in that day.
Oh, so cheating.
That and getting pregnant when you weren't married was a huge taboo.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Of course.
Yep. Especially in the Victorian era, where it was like everyone is supposed to be well-mannered and good and listen to the rules and follow Jesus. And
oh, yeah.
I don't know about Jesus, but
oh, yeah,
that kind of like morality.
Yeah.
So, the babies were generally not accepted by the families if the women seemed to get pregnant by another man. So they were faced with being banished from her family if the father refused to marry her.
That's messed up.
I know.
That's not the baby, and that's not the baby's. What does a baby have to do anything to do with it?
I know. So I actually went on a deep dive on this. In that time, if the father, so if she ended up keeping it, he could actually, if he wanted something to do with the baby, he could actually take the baby from her and she would have no say in it.
That's messed up.
I know. So unmarried mothers during the Victorian England struggled to make a livable wage because of the law that had removed any financial responsibilities the father had of their illegitimate children. So if they didn't want anything to do with it, they did not have to pay child.
That's so messed up. It was your juice.
Not to mention, being a single parent was looked down upon, obviously.
Oh my gosh. How terrible.
So this led to a boom in what they called, quote unquote, baby farms. So I'm going to say it's more of like so
this is not like Cabbage Patch Kids.
No.
I don't think I'm gonna like this story, Amy.
I'm thinking more of like what is it called? Orphanages.
Oh, okay.
But like I guess instead we put them out in the pasture and said, "Go graze on the grass, babies."
Don't be fruitful, but
also put that cap back on. That pumpkin looked great on your head.
So they like labored them.
No, it was more like orphanages.
Okay.
Yeah.
But farms.
I don't know why they called them baby farms.
We're going to send the dog to the farm.
Oh. We'll send the baby to the farm.
Bye, Cabbage Patch.
So
let's go to the Cabbage Patch.
So with Amelia's background in nursing, she knew she would be highly sought after. Also, around the time Amelia is now 32 years old and became pregnant with her first daughter. Ellen Thomas, who was born in 1869, her husband died. So the baby was born, husband died because he was like super old. Not long after he passed away, she had to quit nursing to completely throw herself into being a caregiver for these other people's unplanned babies.
Right.
Also, it's not mentioned in my story, but during my research, I found a source that said that she actually got rid of her first baby so that she could care for other babies.
Oh my gosh.
So,
like, got rid of it? Like,
I don't know. No, like she adopted it out.
Okay.
So she had more time first. So it's kind of like,
oh, that's sad.
Really sad.
Yeah.
So, Amelia advertised her services and met potential clients and assured them that she would be highly skilled. She was a highly skilled nurse, a loving wife to a respectable husband with a good home, except for her husband's dead, but maybe that didn't need to be mentioned.
Right. She was a widower.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. It was obvious that she was well-spoken and well-mannered and was educated, which led the parents to believe that she was an excellent person to leave the babies with. She immediately began taking in unwed pregnant mothers, as well as infants, for either a substantial one-time payment or small monthly payments, as well as extra clothes, so the mother had to provide the clothes for the baby and so on. So she would take in the babies, if like as an orphanage type of thing, and then she would foster them out, or not foster, but adopt them out. Or she would also take in the mothers. So she was like a home for them.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Like, she was kind of like a mother, like a women's...
like a shelter, women's shelter.
Yeah, women's shelter,
but
essentially.
also like / orphanage.
Yeah, right.
Adoption center.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So once the woman gave birth or she had a new baby brought to her, she either found families, like I said, to adopt them, or she would let them slowly starve to death or overdose them with drugs.
You remember like 3 seconds ago when I said that was awesome?
Yeah.
That's messed up.
The easiest way she found to do this was to administer either alcohol or opiates to the infants.
No, I hate this story.
I told you weren't going to like it.
You were right. Okay.
So
continue.
Usually she gave them what they called in that day, quote unquote, a mother's friend, which was a syrup containing opium, but other substances were also used. The opium kept the babies quiet and they would often overdose, or if it didn't kill them, it would curb their feelings for hunger because they're numb, and then they would slowly just starve to death. So she's fun to be around at parties. This happened in the 1800s. Okay, it's over and done with. I know. I told you were going to hate it.
All right. No, just continue going.
So when she would give the babies this medicine, she would also see it as like a 1 for you, 2 for me. And so she was also drugging herself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a terrible person. Oh, here you go.
Here you go. 1 for you.
Down the
2
hatch.
for me. And I hate my life. Amelia did this to be able to pocket the money but eliminate the expenses and make more room for more babies. If she was even bothered to report the death, because most of the time she didn't, the coroner would usually always rule the death as a disability from birth or quote of lack of thriving.
Right.
So especially in that time, I'm sure that was super common.
Uncommon, right.
If a mother would happen to show up later and be like, hey, can I see that baby like that I gave you? I want to like just check in on it. She'd be like, oh, I adopted it out. Can't tell you who. Or she would like find another reason why they can't see the baby. Or sometimes she would even say like, I regret to tell you that the baby like had failure to thrive.
Okay.
The baby died. So
did she adopt out any of them?
I don't know.
Oh man. So she was just pocketing on these. Oh man. Okay. Anyway,
I couldn't find.
I would, if it wasn't a sensitive topic, I would throw in a dead baby joke because those were a thing once, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Those are really messed up, by the way.
Oh, they're really funny, though.
They are.
So the mothers would either be too scared or too ashamed to confront this situation with the police because it was so frowned upon. To have a baby out of wedlock. Oh, no. In 1872, Amelia married her second husband, William Dyer. He was a laborer at a brewing company. She then went on to have 2 more children, Mary Ann, sometimes people called her Polly, and William Samuel.
I love that name, Polly.
Polly,
it's so
it's really
cute.
pretty.
Gosh.
So she continued to take on responsibility of she did not kill those babies, by the way.
Okay.
She kept those kids.
No, the boss. She killed them, not Polly.
So she continued to take on responsibilities of these babies, taking the money happily and ensuring that the woman's babies would be well taken care of. She would then quickly murder the babies.
Ah.
So it took 11...
At least she did it quickly.
Yeah. Slowly starving to death is quick.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So it took 11 years of this practice that she was running before the doctor who had been called multiple times over to her house to finally become suspicious of the number of babies he had to certify as deceased. He was like, wow, you're kind of like a frequent flyer, aren't you?
Like, what are you doing wrong?
Yeah. Like, why are there so many babies that are dying? So he alerted the police, who investigated and arrested her. At her trial, she was only convicted of neglect and sentenced to 6 months of hard labor in a prison. While in prison, it was reported that she attempted suicide. But once she was released, she tried to go back to being a nurse, but she was like a legit nurse.
Oh, gosh.
Like, she really tried. She really, really tried.
Okay.
To be legit. But she's like, nah, bro, that life ain't for me.
That's not making the money.
Yeah. So she moved to a new area and went right back to baby farming. She would assure the mother that the baby would be fine, like I said. Then not long after shutting the door, she strangled the baby with a rib. So she found a new way to do it. She strangled the baby with a ribbon or a strip of cloth or a dress tape instead of contacting the local doctor to verify the death, because she learned that lesson, right? She would then just simply get rid of the body. At this point, she was still taking the mother's friend's syrup along with excessively drinking. I think I would also, if I was killing babies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But also, I don't think I would kill a baby.
No. No. Let me assure you guys. But if I did, that's the only way I could get through it.
Yes, exactly. So then when suspicions arose, she would conveniently have a mental breakdown to get herself committed to an asylum. And being a former nurse, she fully understood that if she played the game right, she'd be left alone in this asylum and would have somewhat of a comfortable time there until she was released. Then she would suddenly just be better and know that she's getting improvement and be released and move to a new location and start completely over. So I couldn't find anything, but I'm going to assume that her husband and children are no longer involved.
Right.
But this was Amelia's pattern. In 1890, Amelia was called on to take care of an illegitimate baby of a governess. Do you remember what a governess is? Because I forgot, so I had to Google it. A governess is a woman, because I talked about it before in a story, is a woman who's employed by a family with money to be both a nanny and a teacher for the children.
Right.
So this particular governess desperately loved and wanted her baby and went back to visit her infant. Amelia let her in the home and brought her a baby. The lady was like, nah, bro, that ain't my baby. She's like, where's my baby?
Are you going to bring them a different baby?
It's a different,
just keep
different
their
skin
baby.
color.
Yeah.
No, this is your baby. No, I'm pretty sure my baby was tan.
Yeah.
Why?
I knew who my baby's daddy was.
Yeah, right? And the lady ended up like, there was like, she remembered when she had the baby that it had this very distinct birthmark on its hip. So she checked and there was no birthmark. And so everything that I read said they notified the police. In the 1800s, were there telephones like common in everyone's home?
And probably wealthier people's homes, I would think. But late 1800s, maybe.
I don't remember. And so I wrote, she snail mailed the police because, like, do you like go down to the police station?
I would
do you
think
just
like a telegram, maybe?
Like, help!
I would think a telegram.
Probably a telegram.
Yeah.
Like wait, how do you do a telegram?
I have no idea. That was way before our time.
Like Morse code, like
beep, 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 beep.
I don't know. And so
it takes like 30 minutes to decipher a 5-second sentence. They're dead now.
Oh, you're dead.
There's a fire down on 22nd Street. Damn it. I thought it said 23rd Street.
Or you mess up. You say 22nd, it's 23rd.
You have to like recheck it like 3 times.
Oh, and the house is burnt. Okay. So she notified the police. When they showed up, she had yet another breakdown and tried to commit suicide in front of the officers by drinking 2 bottles of Ladrium, which I know you're going to ask what it is because I didn't know. And that was fun looking up on a computer because I forgot I wanted to look it up today. Like I didn't know what it was. And I was like, I forgot to look. And so I was like, I'll just look it up on my computer today. So it's a medication that contains around 10% powdered opium.
Oh.
It actually has almost all the opium alkaloids, which is a morphine and codeine.
Put you right to sleep.
Yeah, it was prescribed as a pain reliever, a cough suppressant, and the problem was that she had been abusing this drug for so long. So when she went to go take it, she just didn't take enough to kill herself.
Jeez Louise.
So she's 50.
She was high as a kite, probably.
Yeah, and got put into an asylum. Wow, that would be fun. So now she's 54 years old, and she was admitted to another asylum. And when she was eventually released, she was like, this was the last time I'm going there because that was not fun. Obviously, probably because she was coming down from like a really bad high,
and she was already
also
addicted
having withdrawals.
Yeah,
it's not the place, baby.
Yeah,
sweetie, it's your addiction.
Yeah.
So she packed up her life and moved to Caversham, Berkshire, with a friend that she had actually recruited and helping her with this farming of these babies. And a year later, she moved to Reading.
They were in on it?
Yeah, she had a friend that was helping her.
Ew.
Yeah. So a year later, they moved to Reading, Berkshire. So her 2 kids were almost fully grown adults at this point. And the once quiet, pretty, young Amelia was now was visibly haggard. She had abused her body with drugs and alcohol for so many years. She wore a permanent scowl on her face. So if you look her up, she looks so mean. She looks like, who's that lady in Matilda?
Oh my gosh, Miss Trunchbull?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Amelia Dyer. Dyer. D-Y-E-R.
Ew, she like already popped up. Ew, oh my gosh. She's a scary lady.
She looks like a scary lady, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
So, in January, I'm almost done, by the way. In January of 1896, she was 59 years old, and she received a reply to her advertisement in the Bristol Times and Mere newspaper. But at this point, she was going by the name of Mrs. Harding. So Amelia replied, I should be glad to have a dear little baby girl, one I could bring up and call my own. We are planning a home in fairly good circumstances. I don't want a child for money's sake, but for the company and home to comfort myself and my husband. I am nearly fond of children. I have no children of my own. A child with me will have a good home and a mother's love.
Ew. She's lying.
That was
Don't believe her.
Yeah. So the baby's mother, Evelina, agreed to pay the £10 sum, which I forgot to look that up, what it would be in today's money. And a week later, Amelia showed up to her home. Evelina wanted her baby desperately, but she knew she couldn't take care of it because she had it out of wedlock. So that's like against the law, apparently. She had every intentions of getting her daughter back as soon as she was able to. So she reluctantly handed the infant over to Amelia along with her payment and some clothes. She actually went to Amelia.
It's $12.57 in American money.
In today's?
No.
Do it from 1890 to today's money.
$419.04.
That is not a lot of money to kill a baby.
Nope.
So
that is not. You guys should put yourselves to shame back then.
Seriously. This Evelina actually walked with Amelia to the train station and then returned home completely distraught. She was like so upset she had to give up her baby. After a few days, Evelina got a letter from Amelia stating that all went well with her daughter, to which Evelina replied with gratefulness and like, thank you so much for taking care of my baby. I can't wait to see her again, blah, blah, blah. But Amelia never wrote back. She had already killed the baby.
Oh.
She took some white edging tape that is used in dressmaking. She wrapped it around the baby's neck and tied a knot. And that didn't kill her very quickly. Amelia then wrapped the body in a small cloth. She took some of the clothes and pawned them off for some more money. Then, after killing yet another baby who was 1 year old at the time, she took both bodies and put them in a carpet bag, which was basically just a bag made out of carpet, and added some bricks to it and to make sure it was heavy enough, and she dropped the bag into the river. Amelia later stated in an interview, I used to like to watch them with the tape around their neck, but it's soon all over for them.
There is a warm, warm, warm place in hell for her.
Warm?
Hot.
Cold.
Hot.
Yeah.
She's burning.
So, March 30th, 1896, a man working on a barge saw a strange package in the river. So he fished it out, he opened it, and then quickly realized that it was the bodies of the baby and the boy. He frantically alerted the police, obviously by Morse code. Smoke signals.
Yeah.
So the detective started working on the case with what little bit of evidence that they had, but they did get a breakthrough. The packaging that she had put in the bag had a label that was barely legible, but they could make it out of the name of Thomas and an address, which was her new husband's last name, I believe. This ultimately led to Amelia, but they didn't have enough to arrest her right away. So they put her under surveillance and began interviewing potential witnesses. They also know that she would be a flight risk, so they didn't want to spook her.
So by surveillance, do you mean like someone was drawing her every movement and then they were like telegramming it back?
Probably, yeah.
By the way, telephones were definitely around, but they were so new then. You're right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if like everybody would just have a telephone.
So the decision was made to send a woman to Amelia to meet with her regarding her taking another infant. This was a decoy, obviously.
Gosh, another. Okay.
Amelia agreed to meet with the woman. Amelia agreed to meet with a woman and invited her into the house. But when she answered, she found the detective standing right there. And she's like, "Don, don, don." They raided her house and were immediately met with this overwhelming smell of human decomposition.
Oh no.
But after a pretty detailed search, they actually never found any remains, which is really weird.
That's really weird.
But what they did find was a white edging tape that matched the tape around the infant that was found. They also found correspondence about adoptions, a lot of pawn tickets for baby clothes, as well as several letters from mothers asking about their children. That is so depressing.
That is so sad.
The investigators determined that at least 20 children had been given to Amelia to care for in just the past few months alone.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's got to be at least like hundreds.
Yes. They also saw that she was about to move to Somerset. So if she had kept this pace of murder throughout the years that she was doing, and the pace that she was doing, the experts estimated that she would have killed over 400 babies over just a few years of being a baby farmer.
Ew, you suck.
So obviously she was arrested. Evelina, the mother who had just recently given Amelia her baby, was forced to identify her daughter's remains. Aww. That's so sad. So here's a statement from Amelia Dyer on April 16th, 1896. Sir, will you kindly grant me the favor of presenting this to the magistrates on Saturday the 18th, the instant I have made this statement out, for I may not have the opportunity. Then I must relieve my mind. I do know, and I feel my days are numbered on this earth, but I do feel it is an awful thing drawing innocent people into trouble. I do know I shall have to answer before my Maker in heaven for the awful crimes I have committed. But God Almighty is my judge in heaven and on earth. Neither my daughter Mary Ann Palmer nor my husband Alfred Ernest Palmer, I do most solemnly declare, neither of them had anything to do with it. They never knew I contemplated doing such a wicked thing until it was too late. I am speaking the truth and nothing but the truth, as I hope to be forgiven. I myself and I alone must stand before my Maker in heaven to give my answer for it all, my witness by hand. Amelia Dyer. Which I don't have any feelings about that.
I still think you're a terrible person.
I
you
feel
deserve to.
I feel like she was just saying that to give her, like she was forgiving herself, and it's like, no, you don't get to do that.
To make herself feel better about dying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Give herself some ease. Like, I don't want to go to hell, so I'm trying to here's my Hail Mary.
Yeah, exactly. So the next month during her trial, Amelia pled guilty, but her lawyer wanted her defense to be insanity, considering she had been committed to mental asylums in the past. But the prosecution argued that she used the asylums to avoid suspicion, considering she was always admitted into them right before she was about to be detected. And also she showed signs of knowing what she did was wrong because she moved so many times. So the jury only took a few minutes to find her guilty, and she was executed by hanging, get this, on June 10th, that's tomorrow, 1896, at the age of 59 years old.
Ha! And it's hanging, too. It's what you get for strangling babies.
That's what
piece of garbage, piece of person.
So that's the story of Amelia Dyer.
Amelia Dyer, you deserve to die. But that was messed up.
Yeah, dude.
She sucks.
Yeah, she does. I wanted to do an old one for so long. Like an old one.
That was good. That was interesting. Crazy that happened. Like, and I'm sure she's not the only person to ever do that.
Oh, well, no, it was a thing.
Yeah, like that's wild that was a thing.
Yeah, someone taught her
that was a thing.
The midwife taught her how to do it.
That's messed up. That's so messed up. Those poor babies.
Those poor babies.
Those poor mamas.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by all the dads. Happy Father's Day out there, guys. Every one of you are amazing, especially our dads and our husbands, who we appreciate very much every single day. So, happy Father's Day, and don't forget to crack open a cold one on us.
Are you excited?
I am stoked beyond belief.
Freaking stoked to tell you this
If
story.
it's a doll, I'm going to throw this nail at you. Okay, I won't.
It's not a doll.
I'll throw it on the ground.
Not a doll. I'm going to tell you the story about Skinwalker Ranch.
Bree!
So,
I'm so excited!
So, this is such a big story.
Bree wanted to do this for so long.
I have, and I don't
I've been wanting you to do this story for so long.
I don't know why this one jumped out at me in this particular time. I've always been fascinated with this story because I've watched like the whole series and everything. But it's such an in-depth story that I've like been hesitant to do it because it's like so much. So it's actually going to be 2 parts. So I'm going to tell you the first part today.
I'm
obviously.
so excited.
So for those of you that don't know, Skinwalker Ranch, or Sherman Ranch, as it was originally at the time that I'd be talking to you about it. Yeah.
Isn't it privately owned?
Yes, it is now.
Okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. It is a 500-acre ranch located near Ballard, Utah, in Utenan County, I believe I think that's how you say it. Anyway, so the name Skinwalker originates from the Navajo tribes that originally inhabited the area. Navajo. Is that how I said it? Navajo. Sorry, I'm country. Anyway, it originates from Navajo tribes that originally inhabited the area. A skinwalker is defined as a type of witch or dark entity who has the ability to turn into or possess or disguise themselves as an animal, and they can like mimic noises of like things that would attract people, like they can mimic your own voice. They can like if you have a child, they can mimic their noise.
Baby crying,
just different things. They usually, from what I've been researching, they're commonly caught in like a coyote form, and also what was the other one? It'll come up. Okay. So during the Civil War, the Ute tribe joined in a military campaign against the Navajo and expelled them from their lands, forcing them to refuge into New Mexico.
Oh my gosh.
It is believed that the Navajo cursed the land because the skinwalkers began to terrorize the Ute afterwards. So they think that, like, they cursed the land, and then from that curse, skinwalkers came about.
Okay.
Specifically, the north side of the ranch, Skinwalker Ridge, as they call it now, is the place that's like the most dangerous.
Okay.
So Skinwalker Ranch is the largest paranormal hotspot in like the world.
No.
So it's, like I said, it's got lots of juicy stuff in it. And I definitely won't even tell you all the stuff that I find, because there's just so much.
Thank you for the warning.
You're welcome. So in the 1900s to like 1987, the Myers family occupied the land. All the numbers were like a little off, and then I think there may have been more than one family with the Myers. I don't know.
Okay.
But they occupied the land from the early 1900s to 1987. They did not report any strange occurrences. However, people surrounding them reported thousands of UFO sightings throughout the years, especially in like the 70s. This included strange fireballs.
Why do you think the 70s? Do you think that they're more
people
like
are super high and they're like tripped out? Like, oh man, did you see that stuff? Also, like, maybe because people were like big into going outside, maybe like then, and like looking at the stars and more in astronomy. I don't know. I don't know. So, or maybe just because, you know why? Because the 1969 we went to the moon, and then everybody's into space and shit. Probably.
Oh, obviously. Okay, that makes sense. Did we go to the moon though?
I believe in 1969.
Did we actually go to the moon?
Yes, we went to the moon. I think, it's fine. You can believe whatever you want, but I am a firm believer that we went to the moon. I don't believe that conspiracy theory because there's so many things against it. Anyway.
There's so many things about the moon.
There are. So, this included, the sightings included strange fireballs and aircrafts ranging in size from 20 to 30 feet.
Oh my gosh.
To as large as a football field. A lot of the aircrafts were described as round, oval, cigar-shaped, and triangular.
Cigar-shaped?
They're just like smoking their whatever. And they're just like, that's weird. It looks like this. It's kind of cigar-like. Cigarular. What the shit? Huh. What is in this?
But also, do you think that was like, I'm sorry, do you think that it was like the bus like version of spaceships?
Yeah. Well, some of them are kind of compared to like an RV. So yeah, essentially.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, I know.
That's so weird.
Just wait.
Okay.
Your mind's gonna be blown.
It already is.
So, a glowing green light surrounded some, and some of these crafts, a glowing green light has surrounded some of them. Others have emitted wavy red beams, and others have appeared to shoot colored lights from their underbellies. So by like the 70s, Utah Highway Patrol got so many UFO calls that the troopers just stopped filing reports.
Wow.
Because like, what else?
Like, we have enough, you guys. Thanks.
We already know no one's hurt. So, During this time, local ranchers also saw bizarre like cattle mutilations and living beings in the windows of portholes of the UFOs. So like everybody saw shit.
Okay.
Wasn't just the people on Skinwalker Ranch or the Sherman Ranch. In 1987, the Myers suddenly vacated and the ranch, leaving it empty for 7 years.
Wow.
So in 1994, the Sherman family, Terry and Gwen Sherman and their 2 kids, purchased the ranch with the intent of raising their family in a peaceful country life setting. And of course,
did they know?
They must not have, but there's no way they couldn't have known because of like the town was so like everybody knew about like UFO sightings. So like they had to have known like there's in the area it was popular
in the area, but not.
But clearly the last people didn't really have much of a problem on the ranch.
That's true. That's true.
Or so they say.
I mean, also like if I was about to sell
you're not going to tell about all the nitty gritties about your house that are bad. Yeah.
Yeah. No hauntings here.
No, it's fine. No one died here.
Oh, don't mind
Just ignore the smell out there.
Don't mind that person.
That's an animal skull. All right. So they were intending on living this nice country life. And also they wanted to raise cattle. So make a lot of money from them.
Yeah.
Things started out odd. First off, when they signed the contract for the house, there was a clause in it that said they had to contact the Myers family prior to any digging on the property.
No, that's weird.
Yeah. So which tells me that like I feel like something did happen to them. They just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Then when they actually arrived on the property, they found that everything had been bolted down, like shut. Metal bars around the windows and like loose chains around the buildings. Like everything was just locked up.
I want to like you can't get into a room, or like you mean like locked down, like you cannot
like locks on everything, and then like bars on the windows, and then they clearly had some guard dogs outside or something because there was like loose chains out there that looked like they were attached to dogs.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but they weren't like locking it from the new owners. They were just
no, but they were locking it from something. Not long into living there, the family noticed a large wolf slowly approaching them.
In Utah?
Yep. Yeah, wolves are there.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so? No. In the canyon? Coyotes, though.
Coyotes.
Okay, so some sources described it as walking on its back legs like a human.
Like a werewolf?
Yeah. Yeah. But in the source that I read, it said that it was so large that it came up to the chest of grown men and whenever it was on all fours as it approached. However, it did seem tame, and they even like managed to pet it.
Are we sure it's not Jacob?
Yeah, I know. That's all I could think of was like Twilight. I'm like, oh shit, Jacob. Well, it was nice until like right in front of him, it started attacking one of their calves.
No,
not like their legs, like their cow calves. And they tried to get it off of the calf, and they couldn't. So obviously, they went and grabbed their gun. And
as you do,
yeah, of course, farm life.
Sure.
Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
They shot it not once, but 3 times. It did not do anything. It still stayed on it. And after the 3rd time of shooting it, it did. Sorry, not once, not twice, but the 3rd time, it finally stopped. But it didn't seem like it was hurt at all. It just kind of stopped and like looked at them and was like, "Fucking shooting me!" And then they attempted.
You shooting me?
Like, are you freaking kidding me? Do you see that I am from Twilight?
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
Taylor Lautner.
I come from 12 gangs. 12 gangs.
Yeah. Crips.
I do what I want.
Crips and Bloods and all the rest. Anyway.
That's from
I have no idea what that's from.
It's from a Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
Okay, so after it had obviously not been affected, Terry attempted to shoot it again, and it seemed like it wasn't weakened again. but he had clearly taken off some flesh and some hair. So like he knew he shot it. And so it decided like, all right, I got the message. I'm going to walk away. So it walked away, and he didn't want it to hurt his family or his cattle. So him and his son got the guns, and they followed its tracks until like they just disappeared out in the middle of nowhere. Like they're walking out into an open field, and then like the tracks just stopped. And there's no more tracks anywhere else.
Because it was going faster than them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they had to go. I'm sure they had to go back inside and go get another gun or something like that. I don't know. More ammunition. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, bear. Who knows? Probably the bear. So
I can understand why they just suddenly stopped. Then they're like, well, we're out of beer.
Yep. We're done.
The trucks just stopped. I don't know.
I don't know what happened. We're also out. So the neighbors and people around them had claimed that they had seen something similar. One account described something on the property as looking like humans with dog heads smoking cigarettes. Another described them as large, black, hairy humanoid figures that were very fast with large coal red eyes.
I don't like it.
And others have seen and taken pictures of large tracks.
Tracks?
Yes.
Okay.
So over the years of living there, they also saw what looked like an exotic multicolored bird that was not native to the area, and tall, dark beast resembling sassy squash.
Aw.
Thought that was a little fun little tidbit in there, aka Bigfoot.
Our little sassy squash.
Sassy squash. Mrs. Sherman even saw a strange muscular hyena-like creature with curly red hair attack one of their horses. And when she approached it, it disappeared before her eyes.
Bree.
I know. So it gets worse. It gets better. So
just wait, it gets worse.
Just wait. Throughout the years, the family experienced many odd happenings, including continuing to see this wolf-like creature, but also seeing orbs of light, like UFOs, hearing strange noises, and so much more.
I hate that.
On occasions, the family noticed things going missing on the property. Terry would leave to take a break from a job on the property, and like for example, at one point he left behind a 70-pound post hole digger, and he came back and it was gone, and like later on he had found it like 20 feet up in a tree.
What?
Yeah, clearly he didn't put that up there. I mean, 70 pounds.
Maybe he's just
he's like really trying to dig that tree up from the top. You're doing it wrong, man.
You just start from the top and work your way down.
Yeah. That's how it works. The Shermans began noticing glowing orange lights dozens of times in the sky that would just hover, sometimes round and sometimes in other shapes, and always seem to disappear in the same place. They would even watch them on a telescope. Like they were just like so numb to this that they were just like, oh, let's look at this one tonight. Like check out this one. Like, but
sure.
I mean, like, what else do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand like the first like
all freaked out by it. Yeah.
You're
and then
scared.
It's like, oh man, there's one really cool one out tonight. Come check this one out.
Like, especially if it's not doing anything to you.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
So one time while Terry was watching one, he had noticed one of the orange orbs had a blue spot in the middle of it that looked like the blue sky. Or
Wait
looked
a
like
second.
the sky in it. And then he had seen a bunch of several triangular shaped objects coming out of it. Sounds like a portal.
Yeah, but that's just, I was thinking about them, like how they became like immune to it. That's just the aliens training them
to get used to it, adapting, like making us adapt.
Yeah, like to them. And then they're going to, okay, go ahead.
Befriend
I have
us,
my own,
like making us like comfortable with it.
Yeah, I have
like a what is it called? A locked in syndrome? Or no, what is it? With
Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, it's like Stockholm syndrome with aliens. Alien Stockholm syndromes.
Don't we already have a shirt that says Stockholm syndrome?
No. We have Ghost Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, that was one of our first episodes.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. So we believed that it was maybe some kind of gateway or something, just because you see all these objects like randomly come out of it, and like you could see the sky. It's like a portal.
I don't like that.
So one night the family noticed a white and red light settled on the property, thinking it was some like RV trespassing. So they went like to go confront them, be like, hey, get off our property. As they ventured to the lights, they silently like got further away, and eventually, like the closer they got, the further they would get. And eventually like it rose up into the sky and it was revealed that it was like a rectangular shaped vehicle, kind of like an RV, and it flew away and disappeared into the sky. These occurrences continued to see strange they continue to see strange lights on the property. Probably too many to report.
Sure.
Definitely too many to report. But there was another incident where Terry was out patrolling one night and had seen a silent black craft that was hovering above the ground about 30 feet up that began flashing multicolored lights on the ground. He moved, made like he was out there like hiding and watching it. And then he I guess he stretched or moved and then he cracked or made a noise. And
like a stick broke or something.
Yeah. And then the craft turned towards him and the lights all turned off on it like it had hurt him and it flew off in the opposite direction. Like, dude, you are so lucky.
But how did it turn?
That's what I was wondering when I was reading it. It's how do you know if it turned towards you? Like, if it's are you looking at me? Does it have
almost
googly
like
eyes on
it was like one. It makes me think of if it was just one, instead of it being an aircraft, it's an entire being.
Well, I wonder if they could see the figure in the window too, though. If they saw a figure in the window at one point, and they automatically knew it was the front
obviously
of it.
Aliens have to have windows in their aircraft.
Yeah, they gotta see. I mean, I think they could just navigate through radar.
You think they're navigating through radar?
You can with submarines.
No, I'm talking about aliens.
Oh, yeah, they're not smart. Whoa. What? What is that? Help us. Okay. All right. So not long after this incident, Miss Sherman actually saw the same thing following her car one evening on her drive home. When she arrived home, the craft flew off into the distance, like with him. But a little while later that evening, she had seen this craft sitting on her property, and inside she could see a 7-foot-tall figure in black clothing and headgear standing in a light-filled doorway.
I don't like it.
The next morning, upon investigation, all they found were large footprints. All right. It gets worse.
Oh, great.
So the family raised cattle, right?
Yeah.
Well, we all know what's going to happen.
No.
UFOs, cattle. Anyway. So the cattle began...
up.
Sure it is. They had to get it from somewhere. So the cattle began going missing with no evidence of where it had gone or no foul play. They didn't see any kind of vehicle tracks on the property. No, they didn't find any bodies, anything, nothing. And at one point, they would just see the tracks to one of the cattle go out into the middle of a field and then just disappear. And there was another incident, which I didn't write it down, but I remember it said that they had found tracks to another one and then they disappeared, but also there was a whole bunch of branches on the ground and all the top halves of the trees were just cut off.
Ew, that's weird.
One site said they lost 5, another site said they lost 7. And that was just ones that they actually lost, they misplaced them. So, weird. Then to amplify the creepiness, the family started finding their cattle completely mutilated. One of the dead cows found had a hole in the center of its left eye, but otherwise appeared untouched.
Ew.
But it was dead. And there was no signs of how this cattle died. Another was found with a similar hole in the same eye, but also a 6-inch hole about an inch deep carved out of its rectum. And the final cow, sorry, I just skimmed right over that was killed had just been seen 5 minutes prior by the Sherman's son, had an 18-inch deep hole carved into its rectum. So they were going in the booty holes and the eyeballs, and they were taking the organs. And in all of these cases, there were also no signs of foul play, no tracks, not even traces of blood. I don't know, but the blood was all gone. They weren't bloody. There was no blood on the ground, and then there was no blood in the cow. So what happened? So the only kind of evidence was when Terry had found one of the mutilated cows and discovered some chemical smelling brown gel liquid next to one of the mutilated cows. But before he could get some up, it had evaporated. So he was I assume he probably had to go back to the house and go get a bag or something for to send it off to somewhere. And by the time he got back, it probably just evaporated.
Do you think that they were oh shoot,
probably.
Gary, you forgot
evidence.
the blood.
Fingerprints. Carrie, damn it, Larry, Terry. The family also started hearing strange noises around the property that came from underground. as well as random holes that were dug, like 100 pounds worth of dirt of a hole. And the dirt wasn't like around it. The dirt was just missing. So like there was just holes, and then there was like no piles of dirt next to it.
I mean, it was nice of them to take all the dirt away.
It's like they came in with like a excavator, and it's like, and then like drive away with it, and then swiped all their prints away.
Yeah,
as they did it. It's a lot of effort.
You know what?
But man, you pay for what you get, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So these holes seem to correlate with when they would also see flying lights the night before. Other strange occurrences included the pastures lighting up at night, this sounds of heavy machinery coming from underneath them, disembodied voices speaking to Terry in an unfamiliar language coming from above.
Terry?
The Mr. Sherman.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, there was a Terry. You said Gary. That's right. Terry. And finally, your typical like crop circles were found in the grass.
Real? Okay.
So one evening in May of 1996, just 2 years in, Terry was outside with his 3 dogs, and he noticed a blue orb darting around in the field near the ranch house, and like told his dogs, "Get it, go get it."
No, why did he do that?
And the dogs obeyed him, and they went and chased after it.
No.
And they disappeared into some thick brush, and then all Terry could hear was a bunch of yelping, and they didn't respond when he called them. So I guess he just like went inside for the night, because it was nighttime, and like
we just leave our dogs out.
I mean, like, what do you do? Are you gonna die, or are you gonna just like go back out in the morning?
I'm so mad at him right now.
You know. So the next morning he went to go looking for the dogs, and all he found was
obviously they're all dead.
I mean, all he found was 3 greasy lumps with what appeared to be scorched spots on the ground, and the dogs were never found. And that is where I'm going to leave it. And
burn him out for leaving his babies out there.
That is the first part to Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, because like so far we've mostly just talked about aliens, and like you touched a little bit on. Like,
I mean, that's what Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, we've also talked about the wolves and those creatures.
That's true. Like you touched on that, but
we've touched on aliens. We've touched on poltergeist activity already. We've touched on UFOs. We've touched on portals.
So this is what I'm getting at is like I didn't know that it was more than just skinwalkers.
Oh yeah, but like I mean, is it skinwalkers, or is it aliens, or is it both, or like the same thing?
And why just the ranch?
I'm gonna get into that on part 2. Oh my gosh, I've started already, like, because I already know, like, because I've watched a lot of it. I've watched a lot of the Secret to Skinwalker Ranch. So if you've already seen that, guys, you know, don't watch it. Yeah, don't spoil it. Go watch it. Go do your little studying up, and we'll just like recap it and go over all like the cliff notes.
Sure.
Next week. But yeah, I'm basically going to go over that, and then some other things that have been going on there
recently.
No. Yes.
You should go down that. I've gone down the TikTok hole of Skinwalker Ranch.
I want to say more, but I'm not going to because it'll spoil my second part. So I just need to just go continue so I can stop
really
talking.
Good.
Thanks. I had so much fun doing it. So.
I'm so excited you're doing this one. All right, so I'm going to tell you, thank you, Brie. I'm so excited to hear next week.
You're welcome.
I'm going to tell you a neighborhood story real quick if I can find. Here it is. I found it. So this is from Reddit. I asked my neighbor to try and keep her dogs from barking at night while we're sleeping. A few nights later, she was out there barking herself to encourage the dogs to make noise. And that's a jerk of a neighbor.
But also, if you hate your neighbors.
Yeah, I also would probably do that.
What would make my dogs bark? Knocking on the door.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to us, you guys. Follow us on all of our socials.
But also, you're welcome.
Yeah, we're freaking hilarious.
You know, it was a good one.
You do. This was a good episode.
Yeah.
Follow us on all of our socials. Shout out
WWTN Podcast.
This is really important. Check in on your brain. Mental health is super important. That's why we are sponsored by Mental Health. By BetterHelp.
Yes, we are. It is very important.
Yeah. So get in on that. Have you checked in on your neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
Bring Amy out.
Hey, say hi to your cats for us. Meow.